Ladies and gentlemen, the program is the constituencies, and today I'm feeling all heavy, and because my position has been elevated by the Member of Parliament for the good people of the Bimbila constituency and former Minister for Defense of the Republic of Ghana. I'm talking about none other than Honorable Dominic Nitiwul. Honorable, thank you for opening your doors to
Thank
us.
you. Thank you
Today
very
you're
much.
making me feel like a king.
Well, you deserve to be treated as a king. You carry news around to the people of Ghana. Journalists are the people who would be able to tell the discerning public the truth and carry it forward. If you don't do your work properly, trust me, the nation will grant you a halt. So I'm clear in my mind that you deserve to be treated as a king.
Once again, thank you for this opportunity. All right, before we do some politics, from afar, a lot of people look at you and they say you are not a people's person, but then I'm surprised.
You know, you are the first to tell me this.
Oh, really?
I actually. So when I was Minister for Defense for almost 8 years, not almost, for 8 solid years, I literally had the difficulty in being in the faces of people. That is to say that I couldn't publicly be everywhere every time like other ministers who were not ministers of defense. Naturally, when you have a minister of defense every day appearing on TV and talking, that it means that things are going very, very bad.
Yeah.
The security situation is going down. You never see that anywhere in the world. So forgive me if you saw that over the last 8 years. But if you knew me before, when I was deputy leader, trust me, you will not say this. And even after this, I'm still constrained to be putting up some behaviors. My life has been shaped because of the position I held.
Yeah.
And I cannot do much other than make sure that I continue to give that revered institution, the armed forces, that dignity that they're supposed to have. That's one of the problems. The second thing is that if you're a member of parliament and a former minister for defense, in particular, former minister, there's some type of behavior you are supposed to put. You cannot be reckless. You cannot just talk anyhow. You have to be dignified.
Yeah.
And I interact a lot with the public. But I do it in a very dignified manner. That's the reason why you don't see me insulting. You don't see me saying stuff, getting into controversies. I try to point out what I'm supposed to point out and make sure that the right thing is supposed to be done when it's supposed to be done.
Well, talking about the position he held in the erstwhile government, it dealt with a lot of intelligence gathering and all of that. A lot of people have said that what happened in Burkina Faso was as a result of intelligence failure because Ghana seemed to have somehow pulled out of the Accra alliance we had with Burkina Faso. What is your take on that? The tragedy that befell 7 Ghanaians in Burkina Faso, Titao.
So first of all, my sincere condolences go to the bereaved families. Because government has not really briefed Ghanaians the way they're supposed to have briefed us. There are different variations of stories as to what really happened. And so I'll speak from my informed position, the sources I have in Burkina, the sources I have in Ghana, and even speaking to some of the victims, the 2 of them who have been brought to Ghana. Because there is an argument as to whether there were 8 victims or 9. Talking of Ghanaians, one of the wounded persons says there are 8 people who died. The other says there are 9 people who died. But like I said, my condolences goes to them. This has never happened in our history. There's only one time that Ghana recorded a terrorist death. The late Professor Kofi Awono, if you remember, that was in Kenya. It was not in Ghana, very far away. And may his soul rest in peace. He was at the wrong time, at the wrong place.
Yeah. And the woman at the mall?
And that happened to him. And may his soul rest in peace. Very intelligent man, we miss him because he would have helped a lot to put things right in Ghana. But this is really the first time that over 6, 7, 8, 9 people have lost their lives because of a terrorist attack. But not also in Ghana, but outside Ghana. And from the information I'm picking on the ground, they were disembarked from the car and brought down, women separated from men. They actually wanted to let the women leave, but unfortunately, we had this loss of lives that are there. So, because it was a Ghanaian registered number, they knew that it was a Ghanaian car, the language they were speaking, they had to speak English to the people, so they knew they were not Burkina based, even though there were one or two nationals from Burkina who were also part of it. That's why I wonder why they did what they did. Because really, we haven't had any problems with them. When I was minister, we took a position not to overly be seen supporting either the government or the rebels, even though we all know we're fighting them.
Yeah.
We all know they wanted them out. We didn't think that what they were doing was right. We never supported them. But for the fact that it was not right for us to overly be doing things to get people angry and they were attackers, we were very tactical.
Yeah.
And it was a deliberate decision from government to make sure that we don't get any attacking and we don't get our citizens attacked. That's why you will see that our citizens could go to Burkina and come, even at that time, the heart of the attack. Right now, the attack is not as huge as in those days. Those days, it was daily attacks. Huge attacks every day. But you will realize the Ghanaians could go and come, and the terrorists were deliberately avoiding attacking Ghana. Because two things. The response from us would have been huge. We're very deliberate in making sure that we kept ourselves out of the situation without necessarily getting ourselves involved. But I think the government should look at itself. So it's not just about intelligence failure, right? If the intelligence had been shared with the Ghanaians that this place was bad, they would have advised, or the embassy would have literally forced the traders not to go on that route. So in that sense, yes, there was intelligence failure. But I also know that adversary notice had been given through the foreign ministry to our traders to avoid going to the north. But because Burkina is setting up factories to refine the onion, both onion and tomatoes, is you've instead of the poor area or the southern zone, you have to little bit go towards the northern zone before you can get the tomatoes that Ghanaians want.
Yeah.
And also because our Polugu Dam and the other dams, Tono Dam, are not doing as much as we have wished, we don't have a lot. So they still have to, our traders are risking their life to go to get us tomatoes for us to be able to eat. And so, yes, there was intelligence failure, but I also think the government itself must find a way of positioning itself so that it does not get Ghanaians in the crossfire that we are currently seeing. And I think there were certain pointers that people are pointing to government that they could have done it in a better way. One of them is the invitation of the Captain Tuare to the inauguration of Mahama. I think government should not have done that. I think government should not have done that. When you do that, some people will read meaning that you are supporting him. It may not have been that. But
on 7 January last year?
Yes, was it 7 January last year?
Yeah, 7 January last year.
Was it the inauguration or 7 January last year?
The inauguration.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the inauguration.
I think that from hindsight, government shouldn't have done it. One, they were under sanctions by ECOWAS at that time. And two, if you do it, you are not careful, the other people will believe, his adversaries will think that you are supporting him. The reaction of the Ghanaian young people who were there, the NDC supporters who went there, the way they reacted. I mean, we are in a global world, so everybody is reading these things.
He got the loudest cheers and applause.
But that's the problem, and he has problems at home. So what do you expect? If you are not careful, people will say that your enemy's enemy is my enemy, right? So your enemy's friend is my enemy. If I have an enemy and then you are my enemy, and you gotta make friends with somebody, obviously, I will target that person. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Ghana may be friendly towards, especially our neighbors like Burkina and others, which we need. We were very, very friendly, but we're very careful not to make it too open. But we're very, very friendly. In fact, we help them a lot that I can't say. For national security reasons, I can't, but they know that we help them a lot. But I cannot say these things publicly. But you have to be very careful that you don't make it overly aggressive. I'll give you an example. When the Burkinabes wanted to release the Nigerian plane, they didn't release it in Nigeria directly. They brought it to Ghana. We may have been praising ourselves, but the ripple effect, the back effect on the enemies of the regime in Burkina is that, these are the friends of this regime.
Yes. So we need to attack them so we
need to attack their
position.
Not attack them, but they attack their citizens.
Yeah.
And so that's why I asked the question, did they know that these were Ghanaians? Because never did they do that before. Never. They always had Ghanaians. Ghanaians were in the crossfire, but they always left them. They never tried to attack them.
But for the first time.
So why are they doing that now? So I want government first to come out and give proper briefing to us and explain to us what happened. I also want government to be able to tell us the sequence of events that happened. I want government to be able to tell the people of Ghana and the measures that are put in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again, because you are not going to stop Ghanaians from going there. They will go. They want to make a livelihood, so they will go. So what are you going to do to stop the situation from repeating itself? And the last point is that government must appoint a minister for defense, the president, because by now the minister for defense should have been on the plane to Burkina to meet his counterpart. Let me tell you something. It is not the minister for the interior who is battling terrorism in Burkina. It's the minister for the defense, right? So by now, our minister for defense should have been on the aircraft to Burkina with his team, right? To find out what is happening. 9 of your citizens have lost their lives, or 8 of them, as whichever one is correct. The one government is the one that will confirm it to us anyway. But if it's 8 or 9, I'm saying that the minister for defense should have been on the aircraft by now to Burkina to go and sit with his counterpart to find out and leave a crack team there to assist. In fact, to even go to the site and assist in repatriating the dead bodies, in finding out what has happened, so that, and making sure that it doesn't happen. And even if it means giving escort, we give escort to our people. Whether it's escort, whether it's asking Burkina Faso to give our people escort, but at least to make sure that when you are a Ghanaian, you go there, special traders, they should be able to have some protection. But we don't have a minister for defense as we see today.
It leaves us or makes us vulnerable as a people.
It's not just vulnerable, it makes our response very slow. You cannot leave the finance minister to be acting. It makes our response very slow. Finance minister today, who is dealing with these cocoa issues, how is he going to leave and go to Burkina and stay for about 3 days to be able to deal with these matters?
So the interior minister.
So I have always said the interior minister is not the one to deal with matter. Look, his mandate ends at Paga border. It doesn't extend to Burkina. His mandate ends at Paga border as the minister for the interior. He is the minister for the interior. Things that happen within Ghana.
The country.
It's not about, he's not the one to deal with issues of what happens in Togo on a terrorist attack, or if a terrorist attack happens to Ghanaians in Burkina. It's the minister for the defense. And if there was a minister for national security or the national security coordinator who will pick intelligence, they together will be able to deal with this matter. But for Burkina, they are fighting a terrorist battle, and it's the minister for defense who is doing that. That's his job in Burkina. It's the soldiers who are fighting, right? It's not the police, it's the soldiers who are fighting this. When this matter happened, all right, and the vehicle was burnt, the vehicle was burnt, and the people were killed, it was the soldiers who came in there, right? So when the soldiers came in there, they thought some people, 1 or 2 were dead, they were not actually dead. So it is the soldiers who are acting, right? So I'm saying that our minister for defense should be on the aircraft in Burkina. And 2, government should brief us properly through the foreign affairs minister or the minister for defense. If for anything at all, they should brief parliament. If they cannot even brief the nation, and I expected them to have briefed the nation, because they are briefing the nation on tangential matters, things that don't really matter. But this serious matter, I think that they should have briefed the nation on it. It's a very serious matter.
Yeah.
They should have briefed the nation. In fact, they should have held a National Security Council meeting and come out and brief the nation on what has happened, what are the circumstances that led to it, how they are going to help Ghanaian citizens, how they repatriate the body, what led to it, what reforms will be done, and why it should never have happened. Because I say, and I keep repeating it, I've said it, this is the 3rd time I'm going to say it, that why did they know that they were Ghanaians and they attacked them? What were their motivation? Why did they attack them? Why? Why is it that for the first time in so many years, this whole Burkina issue started by 2015, 2016. By 2017, 2018, 2019, that was the peak of it.
Yeah.
Right? When they had to do the coup, that was the peak of the matter, to the extent that, especially 2018, 2019, that was the peak of the matter. Why is it that all these Ghanaians were going, but they never attacked them? Yeah. They never killed them. They never shot at them. But suddenly they are doing it. I think that our government should ask questions and then find answers to it, and then reposition itself, right? And let's see how things will go. They have all of us our support, right? It's not just our support, our prayer, whatever they think we can do to support. As a former minister, I'll be happy to support them in any way. But I think the government must lead first. That's what I think. I think government must lead. I think the government should give us a way out, but I think that the president should appoint the Minister for Defense, task him to go to Burkina, right? If he's already somebody who has been, Parliament has already vetted him and approved of him, and he's a serving minister, and he's just moving him, he should tax immediately. But otherwise, he should tax somebody to lead a team, a powerful minister to lead a team, not technocrats alone. I know some issues to do with national security, and a few officials have, but I think that the ministers themselves must lead a team and go to Burkina, meet their counterparts, sit down with them, find out exactly what is happening, and come back and brief the nation step by step. Like I said, one, what happened? Two, how do you prevent it from happening? Three, why did they attack them? Four, what was their motivation? Five, who are the people who did the attack? And six, how can you ensure that we don't have that type of thing any longer?
Raul, you've said a lot about the president appointing a substantive defense minister. You have colleagues on the other side. Who are you tipping, or who do you think is competent enough to be defense minister?
First of all, the appointment of any minister is a prerogative of the president. I think that it would be very wrong for anybody to start pointing that I think there is that person or that person. In fact, if I were a minister, a president, you even do that, I will not even appoint that person. But I think there is a prerogative of the president to appoint whoever he wants to appoint. What Ghanaians want, what the soldiers want, what the Minister of Defense want, what the public is looking for, what security experts are looking for is that the president should not leave the position vacant for 8 months as he has done. I think that is a mistake. He should appoint somebody to fill up that position. Unfortunately, our constitution does not allow the deputy to act. That's how come that another cabinet minister has to act, and they give it to they didn't give it to Mutaka. In Akufo-Addo's time, it's the interior minister who acts as defense when defense is not around.
Yeah.
Who was acting. So in this case, Mutaka would have been legitimately acting as defense minister. And in that case, I would not have asked the questions I asked about him, right? If he was the acting minister for defense. But he's giving it to finance minister, who is a very busy minister, who is dealing with money issues. Ministry. Not just that, interior is also very sensitive, but because they are both within the security subsector, it would have been very seamless. You would have slotted into it and would have been doing both roles seamlessly, and people will not have noticed these yawning gaps that we are beginning to see. That's why I said, why is the Minister for Defense not on the plane to Burkina? It's not an ECOWAS meeting where they say, oh, ministers of interior are meeting. That's not it. This is a terrorist attack. That's happened. You are going to meet soldiers. So Mutaka goes there. The people who meet on the other side are soldiers. Yeah. They're not going to be the interior. Yes, his counterpart will brief him, but the real person people who are dealing with the situation will be the soldiers. Yeah. So where is our Minister for Defense? Is he going to go there and assume that he's the acting Minister for Defense? Obviously not. That's why I'm saying to the president that we should not wait for another thing to happen. Nobody knew this would happen, and then we'll be asking this question. So I'm saying that the president should go out there and get the Minister for Defense.
Well, people have questioned the kind of politics we do, the winner-take-all politics. Last year, when John Dramani Mahama was sworn and he changed or reshuffled the top hierarchy of the security services, do you think it's a way to go, looking at the sensitive nature of the services and the kind of support they give Ghanaians?
So first of all, when President Akufo-Addo came, the chief of Air Force that was there, we didn't change him. We left him for almost 2 years or 3 years until he served his term. The chief of Army was promoted to the CDS. So because of that, we had to get somebody else to fill for the chief of Army. And the most senior officer was the person we filled. We didn't remove them. And some people around that time when were talking about his background and what he did for Rawlings and his background. We said, no. Look, he's the most competent. Want to stabilize that now. Don't politicize the armed forces. So we said we're going to give it to him. All right. And we did give it to him. The chief of naval staff, the Navy commander, we didn't change him. We left the one that Dramani for almost 2-3 years until he served his term, Admiral Fedu. And we left him there. I think it was a major mistake for them to have removed over 30 senior top officers of the armed forces. I think it was a major mistake. When you do that, you politicize the armed forces. And I think that was a major mistake. And I think that no government should do that any longer. But the harm has already been caused.
Yeah.
We are where we are. We are where we are today. I just think that those who are there are equally competent. I've worked with them for all these years, and I believe they can do the job. I'm just saying that the political class will appoint a political leader who is the Minister for Defense to ensure that our people will be able to do what they need to do to protect you and myself. The first job of every government is to make sure that you and myself are alive.
Yeah.
Any other thing will follow when you have life, right? You will do the roads, you build the hospitals, you build the schools, you attend the schools, you get housing, you look for food. But the first thing is to make sure that you and me are alive. It is the duty of government to make sure that Ghana stays as a country, that the citizens are alive, and then they can do that. And so I think that your question as to whether they should have done that, I have said no. If they had asked my advice, I would have told them no, it's not right. Whatever feeling they have about them, they should choose the best amongst them, and then use them. I can tell you there were so many competent senior officers that have been sent home, and we've missed their services. A lot of them that their time was not close.
Yeah.
Time of retirement was far, far, far. But that's where we are. But like I said before, it's not in my DNA to be criticizing the government just for the sake of criticizing them. But I think that if the president and his team didn't do that, it would have helped us better than the way they have gone about things.
All right, finally on cocoa, last week when I spoke to you, you said that the meeting that had been convened by cabinet was going to bring just to not find money and pay the cocoa farmers. Yeah. Now we've heard that there has been a reduction in the prices that they are going to be given to cocoa farmers. Senior staff of Cocoa Board have said that they are reducing their salaries by 20%, other people by 10%. Do you think that that is the way to go to speak to our cocoa farmers?
No, not at all. I just think that the government needed to bail out cocoa farmers. This is not the first time that it has happened. In fact, if you remember, in 2000, there was synthetic cocoa that the West, some European countries, or the West, America, or they did. And it tasted just like cocoa, right? This is our cocoa, just tasted similar to cocoa. And so they decided that they wanted to rather be taking that synthetic cocoa instead of. And so Ghana, Ivory Coast, and I think Brazil or some country, they came together to say that if that's the case, they will burn their cocoa beans so that there will be shortage of cocoa. That was around 2000, 1999, 2000. So that they will shortage of cocoa to shoot the world market price because the price has slumped. But even at that time, they never reduced the price of a bag of cocoa or a ton of cocoa for our farmers. They never brought it back. Never. No government did that. In 2017, same thing happened to Akufo-Addo. The prices dropped by more than 30-40%, but he never also did. He maintained the price and gave them a bailout. I think that the first step the government should have done was to maintain the prices at the 3,600 and rather find money and give them a bailout. Akufo-Addo do what we call cocoa bonds and use it to pay them. Raise bonds and use it to pay them. So government could have done other bonds or treasury bills and use it to pay them so that they'll maintain the price. What the government has done is a big disincentive to any cocoa farmer. If you are a cocoa farmer, why should you increase your cocoa farm? Why? Yeah. You will not. If I am a cocoa farmer, I will not increase my farm. There will not be any motivation for me because all the promises that this government made, the finance minister, the president himself, the current agriculture minister, all of them, the promises that the top NDC people made, they failed every one of them.
They've said that we are seeing the real value of money.
There's no real value of money.
That's if you could purchase a bag of cement for 120, now it's 75.
So that's the problem. That's the problem. Let me give you an example. So a bag of maize, if you were a maize farmer, 70% of our people or more are farmers. They are not the salary earners.
Yeah.
They depend on farming. And so they sell their produce. I'm talking of over 70% of our people. They farm or they sell farm produce, or they depend on the farmers who sell farm produce either to sell as traders or to cook, right? So the 70% of the population live, or 80% live around this type of thing, yeah. Right? So farming, subsistence farming, whatever they do to be able to survive. Let me use maize as an example. A bag of fertilizer, a bag of you said cement was 100 cedis during Akufo-Addo time. Today is 84 cedis. So you will say that, oh, it's good. It's 100 cedis and now it's 84 cedis. So the farmer or the 70% who are farmers would enjoy. Is that not right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that during Akufo-Addo time, a bag was selling between 1,000 and 1,200. So if he sold a bag of maize, it could buy 12 bags of fertilizer.
Yeah.
Today, a bag is 300. It's buying less than 4 bags. One bag in Akufo-Addo's time could buy 12 bags of cement. Today, that one bag is buying less than 4 bags or about 4 bags.
Even at the reduced price.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That is the problem that our 70% or more of our people are facing. It's not just the reduced maize price to the 300 that's creating that problem, because I'm using 300 because I want to buy maize from Tumu. Yellow maize. I do pig rearing, right? I'm a farmer myself. I have a lot of pigs, and I do pig rearing, a piggery. And they are selling a bag, 100 kg bag of maize to me at 300 cedis in Tumu. So I know the price, right? In Nigeria, last month I bought in Nigeria 250. Right? It was 350 of yellow maize. I bought 350. So I know the prices. So I'm saying that today, that bag cannot buy up to 5 bags or 4 bags of that same cement we are talking about. For those that could buy 12 bags. So who's better off? And whose regime with that farmer is better off? And I'm saying today we are talking of 70% of the people. If Akufo-Addo's time, a farmer took 10 bags, right, of cocoa to the market. You get 31,000 cedis.
Yeah.
Today, that same 10 bags is giving him 25,000 cedis.
Yeah.
Take that 31,000 cedis and go to the market to buy cement. And take today and see which one will be more. So I'm saying to you that people they are worse off. The ordinary Ghanaians is worse off. But even that, we are even lucky that after cocoa, they are even lucky they have some guarantee some market around the world, right? Even though they have so many of them having cocoa, nobody is buying.
Yeah.
The ordinary farmer, their case is worse off. My parents are yam farmers. They farm maize, yam, cassava, and then guinea corn and others. It is not just that the prices have slumped
drastically.
It's not about even the prices have slumped. Pepper is not that it has slumped. The problem is that they are not even getting buyers. So they carry that maize to the market, right, my brother, and they don't get anybody to buy, and they carry it home. So their case is worse off than even the cocoa farmers. Take it from me. It's worse off completely than the cocoa farmers. You go to Chamba Market, which is a huge market every Friday. Go there on Friday. If anybody thinks I'm joking, today is Wednesday. It's a yam market day for Chamba. So many people will bring yam, thousands of pieces of yam. They're going to carry it back home. Remember, they will use a motokin and carry this thing and spend about 100 cedis, and they'll spend another 100 cedis back, or maybe, I say 100, maybe 50 cedis to buy before and take it back because nobody is buying. So it is not just the ridiculously low prices. It's also because people are not buying, and it's across the whole country. And remember what I said. I said about 70% of people are going through this. So our people are really suffering. That's why the other day I told you that the pride or the boasting of the government that, oh, we have brought down, we have made the city stronger, is actually benefiting only the importers.
Yeah.
It's not benefiting the average Ghanaian. It's the importers. Listen, a bag of fertilizer. I am a farmer, so I know a bag of fertilizer Akufo-Addo's time, because of planting for food and job, was less than 300 cedis. Today, that same bag is almost getting to 400 cedis. It's gone up. Insecticide has gone up. What we call weedicide has gone up. If you want tractor services, because many farmers don't have tractor, they normally will go for tractor services by acre. They farm by acre, they charge. The price has gone up. So every input that the farmer needs, right, to be able to produce the yam, the cassava, the maize, the whatever has gone up. But his produce has come down. What crime has that farmer done? So that he is the only person who should sacrifice. But the Banku woman will not sacrifice. Because Kenke now has moved from 5 to 7 cities.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And which part of Accra?
I mean, about Kenke, look, if you take, the book Trust Road, Theological College, opposite the Theological College, there's a woman selling Kenke there. Go there, ask how much, go there tomorrow. You are a journalist. Go there.
For some of us, we eat Kenke.
I said, just go there. Or even go to Osu. You'll find people selling Kenke at this, not lower than the Akufo-Addo time. Never. No Kenke price has come down. Even though maize has come down, you force maize prices to come down. But the Kenke prices haven't come down. So the ordinary Ghanaian is not benefiting anything. Yeah. Because they say that the lorry fares have gone up. Even though we expect it to have come down because fuel prices have come down. But lorry fare has come up. So the Kenke woman is not reducing her Kenke. The Banku woman, the anti-B Banku has not reduced the Banku. The Fufu woman has not reduced the price of her Fufu. The meat guy, the butcher guy has not reduced the price of his chinchinga. Everything is gone up. The only people who are really suffering are the local farmers, the peasant farmers. And they are in the majority. So I think that the cocoa farmers they are just representative of the suffering of the entire Ghanaians. It's not just the cocoa farmers. All Ghanaian farmers are really, really having a problem. It's not about politics. Trust me, it's not. I've said that. I have 2,000 bags of paddy rice. It's lying that nobody is buying. In those days, if I were to be selling Akufo-Addo's time, a bag was, at that time, 1,200 multiplied by 2,000. Do you know how much money I would have had? I would have been a rich man. Yeah. But today I don't have the money. And I'm suffering. But I have paddy rice lying there. If it were Akufo-Addo's time, I would have sold that same paddy rice. And there were Nigerians and Burkina, but there were so many people who were coming to buy. ECOWAS nationals who were coming to buy. So it was about 1,000 to 1,200 multiplied by 2,000 bags. You would have seen the amount of money that I would have been having. I have 250 bags of soya beans. It has collapsed. Nobody's buying. Right? I have 1,000 pigs, mature pigs that are walking around. So I'm just telling you that
the purchasing
we the
people,
farmers, we the farmers, right? I may be a politician, I may have been a minister, but I'm also a farmer. The purchasing power of people has slumped, has dropped. And because the purchasing power of people has dropped, people are really feeling the pinch. Life has become worse off completely. It's eroded completely. But those people whose lives have not eroded are the politicians. Those in government, not all politicians. Because I'm one. My life has eroded. Politicians. Those in government.
So those in government.
Because you see, the salaries have gone up dramatically. Akufo-Addo saying this was taking 5,000 cedis. You can ask any
no, 5,000 cedis.
It's almost 30,000. You can imagine the quantum leap. Right? So when they say that life is okay, the things they're enjoying, Mahama has done well, I agree with them. But he has done well for them, but not for every Ghanaian. Go onto the street and sincerely ask the people of Ghana, and they will tell you what it is. But if you go ask a DC today, whose Akufo-Addo time they were taking 5,000, today they are taking 30,000.
His life has improved.
His life has improved. Because if you added 25,000 cedis to my salary, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I can do more.
I can do a lot. Not more, I can do a lot. I can start building a house, right? Because in my area, a trip of sand is 4,000. I will get a trip of sand, I'll get some cement, and I'll start building blocks, right? And before you realize, I've built my house. So I'm saying that those whose lives have changed are the government appointees of President Mahama. But the ordinary people, from what I've just told you, are really, really suffering. Because contractors are not being paid. Ordinary contractors, they do the work, nobody's paying them. Right? But in this case, we're talking about the cocoa farmer. And I'm saying that it's not just the cocoa farmer who is suffering. All others are having the same problem. I've just given you the market in Chamba, Damanko, Basa, Bandai, Saboba, Atebubu, Amantin, Ejura, Nkranza, go to the markets in Kumasi, Kongoma market Yabobloshi, go to the markets at Tumu, go to Boga market, go to Jirapa market, just go and ask the ordinary market women. When they bring their stuff, people don't buy. Whether it's dry kunkunte, whatever, people are not buying. Whether it's yam, whether it's maize, whether it's guinea corn, whether it's millet, they are not finding buyers. The purchasing power is eroded, so people don't have the money to buy. They don't. And if they don't buy, then the farmers have to carry the thing back. The next week they are bringing it back. If you are not liking, they don't buy. I've known farmers who brought some yams and just left them because they realize that to take this yam back and back, it's a waste, because that yam will not, that 20 tubers that he brought will cost him, they'll buy around 100 cedis, and he's bringing the motokin 50 cedis. We take it back 50 cedis. The next time he's bringing up 150, he's already lost a 50 cedis. So you just leave it and go away. That is the real truth, and that's the real fact.
Or should the average Ghanaian lose hope in the political class?
No, not at all. I don't think so. My view is that change that politician who has disappointed you. Change. And that's why you have every 4 years to judge politicians. And you change them. If there was no way to change, then I will have a problem. That's why we must resist anybody who wants to impose himself on us. And that's why we have constitutional limitation. You have a president, you can go once, you go the second time, you are done, 8 years. You move. And then the people have the opportunity to assess you. Yeah. And if you are not doing well, they change you. And so let's stick to that. The ultimate judges are the people when they go on to this. And so we must make every election fair. Nobody should be intimidated. People should be allowed to vote. People should be allowed to assess people, and they will vote. Look at the promises the NDC made to the cocoa farmers, and look at the results. Look at what they are delivering to them. Right? Ivory Coast has the same market price like us, but they are keeping 3,600. So why is it that we cannot keep ours? The same. We all sell to the same market. We are all selling in Kumasi, right? You are from Accra. You carry your fish. You go to carry your fish. Yeah. The sea, not the river one, the sea one, because Kumasi may not have a river. You are carrying it there. You are all selling the same. While the Cape Coast people are able to maintain their price, you say, oh, they are not buying in Kumasi, so I'll reduce my price. Why is the Cape Coast people not? Why is that Ivory Coast is still maintaining their prices? Because they care about their citizens. And I think the difficulty with this government is that they are taking people for granted. And you know why? It's the numbers they have in parliament. Nothing else.
On the one majority.
Once you have that, the arrogance sets in. And that's why they just decide. You think that if parliament was almost 50-50, they would dare do what they did. Come on. They would have never dared to do what they did. But unfortunately, they have overwhelming majority. They just do what they want because they think, oh, the people of Ghana with us, so just do what they want. That's what is going on.
Well, on a lighter note, today is Wednesday. I'm not seeing you in your fugu. Why you don't want to join the fugu gang?
But look at the minister for roads. And look at all the NDC people. Are they in fugu?
But I've never seen you in your fugu.
Well, I've always been in fugu anyway, and I'm not even aware of any Wednesday fugu or anything. I know that President Kufuor brought Friday wear.
Yeah.
So why would anybody want to change it to Wednesday? Traditional wear in Ghana, President Kufuor brought it and he put it on Friday. So we all wear traditional wears on Friday. So why is anybody changing it to Wednesday? What is the motivation? That's why some people will not do it. Because if you politicize everything in Ghana, you are going to have that problem.
Yeah. Because
traditional wear in Ghana is Fridays. And we all know that. And President Kufuor brought it. He's been our president before. It's not about MPP NDC. It's been there. It's been running for over 20 years today. So why is it that suddenly somebody says, well, I'm not going to do it on Friday. I'll do it my own on Wednesday. What is it? That over-politicization of everything is wrong. I will stick to my Friday. I'll wear my fugu on Friday or my African wears on Friday or whatever I want to wear on my Fridays, and that's it. So today is not Friday. That's why I'm not in fugu.
All right, what's your favorite football team?
In Ghana?
In Ghana and outside?
Also, in Ghana is House of Oak.
Oh, okay.
And then outside Ghana is Chelsea and Real Madrid too.
Your favorite Ghanaian musician?
Lumba is
That Lumba.
unfortunately
That,
is
that
gone.
Lumba is no more.
Yeah, he's my favorite Ghanaian musician, and he's trained all these young people, or at least they mimic him, and he
Yeah.
brought music. Until he came, the Ghanaian music had its own style, the
Yeah.
Konimos and the way they went
Yeah.
highlight music. Then he came and brought, he and Nana Champion, a few of them brought this type of, it's high life, but it's secular high life,
Yeah.
right? The younger ones, Wale and still so this Tomboy and
Stonebwoy.
Kwa,
Yeah.
bringing their different type of music,
Yeah.
but the Lumba type, when they start playing Machi they start playing Lumba, they start playing Kojuenchi. Trust me, if you have 100 people in a gathering, about 80 will go to the dance floor.
Yeah.
That tells you that Ghanaians
The
love their
impact.
type of music.
Yeah.
And if we can go back to that type of music to help us, when they start playing Joelaka,
Yeah.
right, people just, nobody will force you to go to the dance floor. You just see people will start running and
Yeah.
go to the dance floor. And that's Ghanaian music. I don't know why we are running away from it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, this is where we draw the curtains on the conversation. The Member of Parliament for the good people of the Bimbila constituency and the former Defense Minister of the Republic of Ghana. On that Daddy Lumba note, it was for your crown.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you.